Hello and good evening students, and welcome back to Global Online Platform. This is Chandni Swarnkar, and today we are going to cover two writers as we usually do. Okay, the first one will be Ted Hughes and second will be Christopher Fry, not Christopher Marlo. You can get my lectures at 8 p.m. on a daily basis, but before diving into the video, let me share that there is a great opportunity to prepare smartly for the April 2024 Maharashtra SET. Global Online is offering a comprehensive English literature course. You'll have access to video lectures that explain concepts using short and effective methods. The course also provides downloadable PDF notes for your convenience. Additionally, you'll get mock tests that simulate real exam conditions, boosting your final preparations. To learn more, reach out to the provided contact number. Okay, now if you want to watch the free videos, first download the Global Online app. Once you are in, head to the store section. There you'll find details of all the courses. Use the search bar to directly type in the course name and you will see an overview along with fees for the duration. Click on the content section and you'll find unit-wise folders. In each unit, you'll get theory lectures, evaluation, notes, mock tests and MCQs. No need for extra reading. Now, if you decide to join the paid course, you'll also be added to a WhatsApp group. In that group, you'll receive PDF for each session along with the videos link. It's a great way to stay connected and get additional resources. So, happy learning. Now, let's start. Let's start with our first writer, that is Ted Hughes. Okay, so he was born in 1930 and died in 1998. He wrote poems, he translated works, he also a writer of children. Okay, so we can say that he was an English poet, translator and children's writer, right? He was also honored as a poet laureate in 1984. So he was a poet laureate in 1984. What the Times said about Ted Hughes is an interesting thing. It said that one of the 50 greatest, Ted Hughes is one of the 50 greatest British writers since 1948. So it's a compliment, a very rare compliment, right? Now, he also married to American poet Sylvia Plath. I have covered that writer, and if it will be needed, I'll cover it again. Okay, so Sylvia Plath is a very famous American poet, and she died very early. Now, let's cover the works of Ted Hughes. So, the first work is The Hawk in the Rain, which was published in 1957. The Hawk in the Rain, 1957. It's a collection of 40 poems. It's a collection of how many poems? 40 poems. The Hawk in the Rain has 40 poems in it. Now, it was dedicated to his wife, first wife, Sylvia Plath, Ted Hughes' first wife, The Hawk in the Rain. Do remember this. I keep on repeating it because I want you to remember all of it all once, okay? Now, according to the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, basically his wife said, Plath said, about her husband's poetry, the most rich and powerful since that of Yeats and Dylan Thomas. The most rich and powerful since that of Yeats and Dylan Thomas. And Mariana Moore also said something about it and about basically Hughes' poetry. Hughes' talent is unmistakable. The work has focus, is aglow with feeling, with conscience, sensibility is awake, embodied in appropriate diction. Hughes' talent is unmistakable. The work has focus, is aglow with feeling, with conscience, sensibility is awake, embodied in appropriate diction. Okay, it said that. Now, the poems included in it, some of them are here. I'm naming it. Others, you can read it out or remember it. But I think, in my opinion, it's not that important. Now, the poems are, so the first one, The Hawk in the Rain. Of course, the title of the full collection has the same name. Okay. Now, the second is The Jaguar. Third is The Thought Fox. Okay. Fourth one, The Horses. Fifth, September. Okay. Now, the second work is Crow, Colin, from the Life and Songs of the Crow. It is not a poem written by Ted Hughes. It's a literary work. Do remember. It's a literary work. Crow, Colin, from the Life and Songs of the Crow is a literary work. Now, the third work is Tales from Ovid. It's a retelling. It's a retelling of what? It's a retelling of of its metamorphosis. Okay, so 24 tales are there that Ted Hughes retold. Okay, now it's a poetical work, do remember. Now, because of the retelling, he won the White Bread Book of the Year award. Just imagine, he won White Bread Book of the Year, and actually it contains a selection of free verse translations. Free verse translations are there. Now that is it about this. Now the fourth one is the Iron Man. So you know the Iron Man movie, okay, the Iron Man, the character. But because of that reason that people can be confused between those titles, that is why it changed. Okay, the main title was changed to the Iron Giant. Okay, and it's a science fiction novel, don't forget it. It's a science fiction novel, not a poem. It was published in 1968, and the full length name of this work is The Iron Man: A Children's Story in 5 Nights. The Iron Man: A Children's Story in 5 Nights. Okay, moving on. Fifth one, Remains of Elmet. So let me tell you, it was first published in 1979, but it was republished in 1994 by Faber and Faber publication and retitled as Elmet. It was earlier Remains of Elmet, but retitled by the Faber and Faber publication in 1994 as Elmet. Okay, and it also has like third comprising book was additional new poems and photographs were also added. Okay, so do remember, and you can see it's a very interesting one. Now the sixth work is Moortown Diary. It is also known as Moortown. The only Moortown title is also there. Okay, don't forget it. Now it actually talks about the everyday life of a working farm. Okay, what happens, how they work, how things are going, how things goes. Okay, so these things are there in this particular poetry. It's a poetry diary. Okay, as if you are writing a diary, it will feel like that. It was first published in 1979. Moving on. Now the seventh work is Wolf Watching. As if I am watching or somebody is watching. 1989. And the collection of, it contains 21 poems. How many poems? 21 poems. Okay, Hawk in the Rain contains how many poems? 40 poems. And Wolf Watching contains 21 poems. A book of poems by former English poet laureate. And I have named some of them, but you don't need to remember all of that, but just remember that there are works by Ted Hughes. The first, A Sparrow Hawk. Second, Slump Sundays. Third, A Macaw. Fourth, Dust as We Are. Fifth, Wolf Watching. Sixth, Sacrifice. Seventh, Anthem for Doomed Youth. Eighth, Little Whale Song. Okay, so these are the poems. Now, eighth work, Rain Charm for the Ducey. Rain Charm for the Ducey, 1992. Okay, and the book basically contains poem. Those poems he was writing during his tenure as poet laureate of the United Kingdom from 1984. When he won the position of poet laureate, he actually started during that period. He wrote some poems, and Rain Charm for the Ducey contains all those poems. Okay, do remember. Now, ninth work is Birthday Letters. So it's a poetry collection, and it was published in 1998. Except that you need to remember here is some, like there are cover. Okay, not there are. There's a cover of Birthday Letters, and there's an artwork on the cover letter. Okay, and that was created by whom? Created by Ted Hughes and Sylvia Plath's daughter Freda. Okay, so do remember this information. It's an important one. Now let's cover Christopher Fry. He was born in 1907 and died in 2005. Very recent. Now he is an English poet, wrote poems and also wrote plays. He was a playwright, he wrote plays. Okay. Now best known for his voice dramas, especially The Ladies Not for Burning. The Ladies Not for Burning. It's a very famous work written by Christopher Marlo. Now, let's cover the works first. The first work is The Ladies Not for Burning, which was published in 1948, a romantic comedy in 3 acts. What it is? It's a romantic comedy in 3 acts, set in the Middle Ages. It was set in the Middle Ages. Now, the second work is A Phoenix Too Frequent. It was published in 1946. Phoenix Too Frequent. Now, Phoenix Too Frequent is 1 act stage comedy in blank verse and a play that revolves around the character Dynamene and a young widow who decides to end her life to join her deceased husband. Just imagine, who decides to end her life to join her deceased husband. Wow. Now, the third work is Venus Observed. It was first performed in 1950 and it's also written in blank verse. It's a play written in blank verse. Okay. Now, basically, play revolves around a duke who decides to remarry for the third time. Now, he actually wanted his son Edgar to pick the bride, but what happens? Edgar started liking that girl he chose for his father. Okay. He gets his son Edgar to pick the bride. The Duke likes Perpetua, but Edgar wants her for himself. Just imagine what happened. Now, the fourth one is Judith, 1962 work and adapted from Jean Girardot's play. Okay, so it's an adaptation. That is it. Fifth work, A Sleep of Prisoners. Sixth is The Dark is Light Enough. And seventh is Tiger at the Gates. A Sleep of Prisoners. Sixth, Dark in the Light Enough. Seventh, Tiger at the Gates. These are the works. Okay. Now we have completed today's lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Okay. And all the very best.